Today we're going to compare the top 5 Jabra headsets in 2021 for you to consider. Each one of these are going to be nice for your business calls and meetings, and stay with me throughout this video because we're also going to do a microphone test and run some background noise to see how well each one of the microphones cancel out that noise. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Drew, and this is the channel Headset Advisor, where we review and compare all the latest business headsets, speakerphones, and webcams so you make the best buying decision. So don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification for more videos just like this. Introducing each one of the models, starting out we have the Jabra Evolve2 40, the Jabra Evolve2 65, the Jabra Evolve 75, the Jabra Evolve2 85, and then the Jabra Engage 65 or 75 that I'll talk more about here in just a minute. Before I provide you my pros and cons of each headset, we're going to put the tech specs on the screen. Feel free to pause the video, read through those, and then continue on. If you don't mind a cord in the way, the Jabra Evolve2 40 is certainly one you're going to want to consider to keep costs down, keep your hands free, and still get a high quality headset to hear and be heard crystal clear. Looking at this headset, it looks extremely nice and it fits even better. When you put the headset on, it's almost like you have pillows against your ear and the headset can be worn for hours. The headband is adjustable. The microphone, when you place it down, it goes to the right position, but you can even have it where you move the microphone up and it mutes the microphone, move it back down and it unmutes the microphone. I really like that feature. After I started using it, I realized the benefit of that. So you do get that capability. If that's not important to you, you can still mute the microphone just by pressing the button in the front right here on the speaker. And then you also have some volume controls on the back of the headset. And then you have your answer and control right on the side, which is going to be compatible with certain soft phones. So rather than taking your mouse and pressing an answer control on the computer with your soft phone, all you would have to do is press the answer button on your headset and you'd be on the call. Press that same button and it will end the call. Keep in mind, that's only for certain compatible soft phones. If you need to verify compatibility, contact us here at Headset Advisor and we'll be more than happy to help. But overall, the Evolve2 40 is comfortable, lightweight, sounds good, and it has some advanced features like moving the microphone up to mute it and unmute it. And then it's unique because on most other headsets, the volume control or the mute button is on the cord itself. On the Evolve2 40, it's all done right on the headset, which I think is a very unique advantage that most other headsets don't offer. Moving over to the big brother of the Evolve2 40, we have the Jabra Evolve2 65, which is exactly the same, except there's no cord to get in the way. With the Evolve2 65, it has 37 hours of battery, so you can be working 8 hours a day using the headset for almost 4 days and not need to charge the headset, which is extremely nice. You also will be able to use it in wired mode. So if the battery is running low or you just want to use it as a wired headset, simply plug the headset from the headset to the computer, and now you're using it as a wired headset as the battery charges. Both on the Evolve2 65 and Evolve2 40, one thing that you do want to know about is when you put the headset on, if you wanted to move the headset microphone to the other side, you can't do it. So you can only wear it on the right side. To me, that's not a huge deal, but we always like to put the information out there and then you can be the judge for yourself if that's a deal breaker or not. Overall, I think it's really not a huge deal, all things considered, but something to be aware of. Moving over to the Jabra Evolve 75, I wanted to have the Evolve2 65 out as well because many customers always ask, well, what's the difference between the two, being that they're so similar? The Evolve 75 was the previous model to the Evolve2 65, but the Evolve 75 is still being made today. When you put the headset on, number one, it has active noise cancellation built into the speakers, so you can turn ANC on or ANC off. And the microphone has a unique feature, which if you rotate it up to the headband, there's a magnet that will put it in place to keep the microphone out of the way and a little bit more discreet when you don't need the headset for phone calls. In regards to comfort, it's a very hard one for me to choose between the Evolve 75 and the Evolve2 65. So if comfort is very important to you, either one is going to be very nice and you should be able to wear it either model for many hours. If you want something that's the latest and the greatest, has the most up-to-date technology, the Evolve 265 is the way to go. If you want ANC built into the speakers and that's your top priority, then you want to go with the Evolve 75. Another thing to note is the Evolve 75 operates on older Bluetooth, which is version 4.0, and it uses micro USB to charge the headset, whereas the Evolve 265 has Bluetooth 5.0 and uses USB-C to charge the headset. One last note that you'll want to consider that differs between the two headsets is battery life. The Evolve 75 has about 17 hours of battery on a single charge, whereas the Evolve 265 has up to 37 hours. So Jabra just further improved on the battery life with the Evolve 265 over the Evolve 75. For those of you who want a bit more heavy-duty pair of headphones to really block out the noise and have one pair of headphones for business use and personal use, you won't want to look any further than the Evolve 285. It has everything you want in a pair of headphones, meaning they have ANC, the battery is extremely long, rated up to 37 hours. You can plug it in as a USB headset, so if you want to use it in wired mode, you can do that. You can use it wireless. As you can see where I'm going with it, it's very flexible, and these are an extremely nice pair of headphones. When you have the Evolve 285 on, they're going to fully enclose your ears like you're used to with a pair of headphones. But what's unique that most other headphones don't offer, like other brands, more consumer brands like Sony or Bose, something like that, the Evolve 285 has this microphone boom you can bring down. And now when you're on a call or meeting, your voice quality is going to be much better in comparison to a headset that doesn't have a microphone boom. When you're no longer on an important phone call or meeting and microphone quality isn't the main priority, all you need to do is take the microphone, move it up. It's going to hide within the headphones. That way, if you're on a walk or in a coffee shop, it doesn't look like you're in a call center or on a call. Also, you'll be able to order the Evolve 285 with or without the charge stand. This is what the charge stand looks like, and it's very easy to place it on there. So if you prefer to have the charge stand, that way the headset isn't just laying on your desk like this, then you can order whichever version that you want, or the charge stand could be ordered later in the future. Before we talk about the last headset and get into the microphone test, keep in mind the last 3 wireless headsets that I shared with you are best for those of you who are connecting to your mobile phones and computers for calls and meetings. Any of these headsets that you need to get, visit the headsetadvisor.com website and you can order directly on our website. Make sure you use coupon code YouTube for an additional discount. Lastly, we have the Engage 65 or the Engage 75. I say that because they're exactly the same, but the Engage 65 you see right here as an example, it has touch buttons that you can press. This is going to connect to your desk phone and computer applications, whereas the Engage 75 is going to have a touch screen and it's going to connect to your desk phone, computer, and cell phone. Also, the headset is extremely lightweight and comfortable. As you can see here, you can get this in dual speakers. You can get it in a single speaker, so only one ear would be covered and the other ear would be free. Or you can get it in the convertible option, which is going to allow you to switch from, say, earpiece, headband, and ear hook. This model specifically is going to give you about 13 hours of battery. And the advantage of a headset like this that uses a charging base that operates on DECT 6.0 instead of Bluetooth is you're going to get a lot longer of wireless range. So if you're in a situation where your computer setup is downstairs and you're in a large house and a Bluetooth headset just isn't giving you a long enough wireless range, then you'd certainly want to consider the Engage series of wireless headsets. So enough of me talking. Let's get into the microphone test that you guys are wanting to see, and then you can let us know which headset performs best, not only in the sound quality of the mic, but also which one blocks out the most background noise and which you would choose. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. To keep the microphone test as consistent as possible, what we're going to do is read some fun facts to you on each headset. The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague, who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat. The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague, who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat. The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague, who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat. The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague, who lived in the 1700s,
reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
Before we jump into the next microphone test, if this video is helpful to you at all, do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Also, we have a weekly giveaway that we do on Fridays. If you want to have a chance to win free headsets, visit the link in the description to join Free Headset Friday. The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave the gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
I'm sure by now you've learned a fun fact that you've memorized to share with your friends and family, but before we get into the last microphone test, I wanted to let you know we're going to include the links in the description of this video to each one of these headsets where we did an in-depth review. So if you want to learn more about each model, go ahead and visit the link in the description of this video. Now let's get back to the last microphone test. The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
The Earl of Sandwich, John Montague,
Who lived in the 1700s, reportedly invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat.
Overall, you can't go wrong with either of these headsets from Jabra. They all have their pros and cons, and hopefully I was able to explain the differences of each one. That way you can make a better buying decision. If you want something that's wired that covers both ears or one ear and it gives you a very good quality headset, the Evolve 240 is the way to go. If you prefer a wireless headset that rests on the ear, you have the option of the Evolve 75 or the Evolve 265. If you're in a more hybrid work situation where you want one pair of headphones for your music and that same pair of headphones for your calls and meetings, the Evolve 285 is certainly not a bad way to go. And then lastly, the Engage series is going to be best for those of you who are using a headset for a mixture of devices like desk phone and computer, or desk phone, cell phone, and computer. Overall, you get to decide now. Let us know which one you would pick based on what we talked about here, as well as the microphone test. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Another product we're seeing customers add to go with their Jabra wired or wireless headset is a Jabra speakerphone. That way, if you don't want to wear a headset all day, or if you do small conferences, you then have the option of using a speakerphone to increase the audio quality for you and the callers on the other end. So there's going to be a video right up there that I think you'll find very helpful to learn more about one of the Jabra speakerphones. That's it for now. Don't forget to hit the subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.